Oh, yes.
All right, welcome everyone. Call the meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. We have a quorum, and I believe we're in compliance with open meeting law.
Yep.
Correct? All right. I invite you to stand with me and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do you have any public comments this evening?
I don't think so.
Right? And no comments or questions were submitted last time.
Nope.
As far as I know, no correspondence we need to deal with. No. So let's take a look at the meeting minutes from April.
Oh, I gotta find it. There was one thing I thought. I don't think it makes a difference. There's a reference to $5,500 in the treasurer's report last time. I'm not sure that was right, but the correct number is shown later as one of two checks for $2,867. So.
It's on page 1, Bruce.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Okay.
But I don't think it matters. This is the $5,500 on page 1 of 3.
Oh, so it's probably just a typo.
And it doesn't make any difference. It's correct where it came up on discussion action April. That works, that's fine.
Okay. All right, then we're looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Motion made by Bruce, seconded by Brian. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say no.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Treasurer's report, Mr. Bruce.
All right. We got it on pages 5 through 8. Basically the summary of accounts. If you look on page 5, that's the overall, and the stuff is broken down on the next 3 pages. Overall, basically it went down by $5,000. And that was effectively the taking out the 2 payments for the YA furniture, even though the second payment is technically not yet provided. We're holding that check for when upon delivery.
Correct.
But the funds I'm showing on here presume it's already taken out. Other than that, there isn't anything of great consequence in the treasurer's report. This is a matter of showing the breakdown of the different items. I guess there is one other thing I should clarify. I don't know if anybody would pay attention to this. I almost didn't myself, but we did receive a contribution from Cabin Creation, very nice, $250 in March that we initially had put into the building maintenance and improvement account. I have since taken it out of there and transferred it over to the gift and memorial account, because we're going to be using a part of that if we approve the bills as presented later in the meeting today, in order to be able to pay for some programs. The money was not designated one way or the other when it was received from Cabin Creations. It was for the benefit of the library, and clearly the programming that everybody's going through is clearly for the benefit of the library. So, any other questions for anybody with regard to the 4 pages of the accounts? If not, then I will touch on the other item that's under my part, the CD renewal. We have, if we will recall, we have 2 CDs for $30,000 a piece. One of those will be coming up for renewal on June 25th. And I have done some checking around. By the way, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that you sent me an email with multiple places to check for the CD rates real easily. Thank you for that. In going through those rates, I went through all of them except I did not go through the one in Medford. I figured, well, I would look at the ones that were here in Price County. But going through all of those, Connexus Credit Union, Forward Bank, Citizen State Bank, and Associated, as well as Prevail, which is where the funds currently sit. The best deal out of any of those, most of the deals were in the 0.75, 0.65% range. So we're almost paying them to hold the money, not quite, but close. There were a few better ones overall, for whatever it's worth. Connexus had the best stuff across the board. They had the best rate as well for a 4.1%. If you were in the jumbo category, which we obviously aren't, but in talking with Prevail, and that would have been 4.1% for 24 months. Prevail has their own rate right now as a special rate, a 19-month CD for 3.51%. And so those were the two best rates, basically. 24 months at Connexus for 4.1%, 3.51% at Prevail for 19 months. We don't know if the 19-month or the 24-month special will be out there come the end of June. We are in a period of flux, I think, without getting too political for anybody. With that said, I did talk to Prevail and they would be willing to go 4.1% for 12 months, which would seem like a reasonable choice on our part, but that's up to you guys. Again, the renewal would come up by the 25th. You have 10 days after the renewal date to cancel whatever. As a practical matter, it would be nice to have some thoughts, direction, whether we'd be looking likely at 12 months or 19 or 24 months. What preferences would be. My own 2 cents would be, I think it might make sense to go with the 19 month for 3.5%, but I don't know.
So we already have the CD split, right? Didn't we
Yes.
do that last time?
Yes,
So we're only talking of
we're only talking about 30,000.
30,000.
And the other one comes due on the 25th of November.
Yes, yes. So that's where we're sitting at the moment, and I'm open for discussion. We don't have to make a decision tonight. We'll have to make it, presuming we get our meeting done with June within the 10-day window.
We will.
Yeah,
Can it,
I would, go ahead.
is it possible to? We're stuck, we can't renew before June 25th, is that the deal?
I could cancel, we would lose some interest on the current.
We can't just keep it at Prevail and roll it into a new CD.
No,
prior
we
to
can't,
the date.
no place will allow you to do that. We have, I should say that, that's what they will want everything to do, just an automatic renewal. But then it gets automatically renewed at some pathetic rate.
Exactly.
If
Just
we
making
want to get
sure.
one of these rates that has actually something of consequence for the library, we have, even at Prevail, I will officially close it,
Right, and reopen,
reopen it.
gotcha.
If we,
The rates that you just stated, they're not guaranteed. So that was like basically today's rate.
this is what we have right now.
It's so
So in June, they could change.
Yep,
by the time when it's time to reinvest, it'll be different. They won't lock this in right today.
no,
Right, now when I looked at the numbers that I sent Bruce, I had looked at them like in March, and most of the numbers were the same, so
Right.
a few of the banks had not changed in the last couple months. Now, that's.
Yeah. Right.
who knows?
Well, do you need the money, that 60,000 for anything, the liquidity of it to be available in a short-term basis that you want to still keep one? There's another one coming due in November.
This is 30,000.
Right, but between now and November, we really aren't going to need that money for anything in the library. are
I
we?
mean, we still have $20,000 to
Yeah.
play with before the end of the year. I can't imagine.
Well, the other.
And if we really need to, we can get it out.
Right, I was just about to say, the worst case scenario is you turn it in early and you don't sacrifice all interest, you sacrifice a good chunk of the interest. Then it probably puts it back as if we had just renewed it.
Something like that. Seriously, I've had it where they've,
Brian will.
So, yeah.
they've given me a penalty. Some banks will do.
Forgive the penalty.
And we just don't pay the last quarter interest. We don't do anything. That's what I did always. I never, ever charge
Took away,
anybody a early
yeah.
withdrawal.
Right. So in any event, but that's where we're sitting. So we don't have a decision to make tonight. I would be interested if any comments, any thoughts, generally 12 versus 19 or 24 months.
If the rates stay with,
We can
similar
take
to what you
action.
stated here, my 2 cents is I go with the 12, 4.1.
So it's the one that's expiring next month was a 12-month.
It was a 7-month.
So that's
Oh, that was-
7-month,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
So we kind of have them split with a short term and a long term.
Well, we did that just to basically have, so they didn't, so
The
we
stake.
kind of mini laddered them at the time.
Right.
So they didn't come due at the same time of year.
So-
So it seems like if we did 12 or 24, it keeps them on opposite halves of the year rather than 18 or 19. That puts it about the same time as
That's true.
So you
It
said
keeps them staggered.
exactly.
Prevail give us what?
Prevail would give us 4.1 for 12 months. Assuming, again, this is just assuming that they'd still do that come the end of June.
Because they have, did you say, because of,
They have 3.51% for 19 months.
or 4% for 7,
Or,
right? So that's what I have.
well,
No,
Prevail?
Prevail,
No, they're right now, their prices, their rates are. 6 month is 1%, 7 month is special is 3.7 to 3.75.
okay, dropped a quarter since I emailed you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 19 month is 3.46 to 3.5. At Prevail, and like I said, the higher one was Connexus, but that was, well, and that was 4.1, I'm sorry, at 4.0 at 24 months, because we didn't have 100,000. We wanted to go jumbo, then we get 4.1.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to kick in,
Yeah.
all right.
Yes.
So we could take action tonight and just put like if the rates were,
You could say
if the rates
are the
were
same,
the rates are between 3.9 and 4.1, go ahead and do it.
Take the highest rate, 12 months or less.
Right, as long as it's.
If that's if there's a special offer for 7 months, again, you might as well take advantage of it, get more interest.
That makes sense.
All right.
You make a motion.
I'll make a motion of that, yes.
What was that motion?
To take the highest rate that is 12 months or less. With the renewal of that was on June 25th.
I'll second it.
Just for clarification, we do mean highest rate that is 12 months or less out of the different options that were presented this evening, correct?
Yes.
Or we can say
Okay.
within Price County.
Within price county.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed, say no.
Thank you, everybody.
Motion is carried. Thank you, Bruce. All right, Becky, what do you have for us?
All right, we're getting ready for summer, so we're very busy. And the programs are still going really well. I feel like we have people coming through the door all the time, and the staff feels busy, so that's good. The new chamber director is helping with chess club. So we did open it up to all ages. So if any of y'all are chess players and you want to come play, but that does mean that, we have some middle schoolers that come, and then we have some older people who come. Really, it's been fun.
When are those meetings again?
Those are the second and fourth Mondays. Yeah, so the second and fourth Mondays of the month, we list them on the little monthly doodad. So if you take a monthly on it.
3:45 to 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And they're not held to that time, but they can drop in and play a game and do whatever they're choosing.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of us are just learning. So if you want to learn, oh, we'll play and we'll learn. Yes. All right. Yeah. IFLIS is doing the passport program again this summer. That always goes over really well. So keep an eye out for that. We'll kick that off in June. The biggest thing out of WAPL was the need to concentrate maybe a little bit more on the non-English speakers in our community. So Linda figured out today how to translate everything in Canva into Spanish, which is amazing. Apparently there's a way to do it up in Word. And then we do have a contact up at the school who's going to come and do a Spanish story time for us this summer. And help us out with any other little Spanish things that we might need. And then we bought, I thought it was going to be like thousands of dollars and I was going to use grant money on it, but no, it's like $89 to buy a little contraption that basically is like Google Translate in your hand, but it does it a little bit better and it does more than however many languages. So we're going to play with that when it gets here and see how that works. And then as we get into budget season, I'll talk to you guys more seriously about this, but I'd kind of like to work something out with the school where one of the either junior or senior Spanish students could have a paid internship at the library and maybe work like 4 to 5 hours a week here and just help us out. And we can let people know that, during this time, we have a Spanish speaker in the building that can help you and maybe have them do a couple of programs in Spanish and that sort of thing. But I haven't crunched the numbers on that or anything yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
So do we have Spanish speaking people using the library at this time?
We do. We've had a few come in and my Spanish is,
No bueno.
yeah, it's passable. Yeah,
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
Not bilingual kids, if they're living here, they are.
it's
learning
it's
English.
mostly the parents, but it's the kids too. The kids are getting English up at school, so they're picking up on it quicker, but
Bilingual. Don't speak Spanish as well.
exactly. Yeah. So we've been okay. But when you all hired me, 17 years ago, my Spanish language skills were actually really good. But I haven't used it in 17 years.
So when we're looking
Yeah.
to make sure that we're available for everyone, the other languages, are they suggesting like have forms in both languages? Are they
Yeah.
suggesting, what type of suggestions are they making?
So that's basically it. So so our children's flyer for June is bilingual. So it's English on one side and Spanish on the other. So that's really exciting. And then we are working on getting our card application so that we have a Spanish version of our card application as well.
Okay, cool.
And so we're just kind of starting around there. I'm really kind of frustrated with IFLIS. We do not have a Spanish version of the catalog right now. And they said that they'd look into it. So we'll see. And yeah, and we obviously don't have a Spanish version of the website yet either. And I don't know how easy that's going to be, but just kind of taking a bite out of little things at different times.
Are they suggesting, I know we have some like books that are appropriate as well?
So right now, we're just doing it in the children's section for right
Okay.
now, but we will have a Spanish section in the children's section, and it's picture books all the way up through junior fiction.
Okay.
And right now, we're going to see how that circulates and see if right now it seems to be younger kids that we're dealing with right now, and we're going to see how many teenagers there might be, and then maybe expand to YA, and then see if the parents are even interested in us carrying more Spanish language for adults. So right now it's just in the children's, but we're working on it.
It makes sense to me to be doing these monthly activity sheets in multi-language. I'd be reluctant to get too carried away about everything under the sun
Sure.
in Spanish or any other languages. I mean, for a while there, we were looking briefly at the Micronesians in Park Falls. That was an issue. In fact, my son Will speaks Chuukese. And I mean, there were a couple of kids that came down here and the thought was, well, maybe there were going to be more, but that didn't turn out to be the case. I mean, I realize there's more likelihood to have Hispanic than the True Keys, but nevertheless, I was surprised there were any Micronesians that would be from the area where Will was in the Pacific. So we don't know, but I'd say before we start trying to do just everything in languages, let's see if somebody actually responds to some of this. This seems like a very appropriate thing.
Sure.
And I'm in the form for getting a card and stuff like that.
That's a good idea to have that translator device.
Well, I'm excited about the translated device.
Bring you your open.
That's true. We'll bring you in for those. On your phone number. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that though, to see how it works. So hopefully, yeah.
And will you said the Spanish story time, will that be same day as the regular story time, different days?
And we don't have it scheduled yet because we're working with a guest
So,
speaker.
my friend Mary,
Yeah.
she had suggested that we do a bilingual.
Okay.
Because then you open it up to everyone.
Yeah.
But not to Hispanic
Sure.
families. So, she had recommended us looking at providing some bilingual stories.
Sure. Yeah, I think that would be a good.
I think it's a great idea because we want to reach out to them in their heart language, but also help them to acclimate to the community in which they're now living.
Yeah.
So it's a dual thing, and help people who are English only speakers to be aware of and comfortable around another language too. I would make one note about I think it's an interesting idea to have a high school student be an intern, but you might want to open that up to an adult. To anybody.
Well, just the
With
Spanish
language
language.
skills. Having a daughter who is quite fluent in Spanish, it took a long time for her to get there, and 2 visits to foreign countries, and she's going on her 3rd this summer. High school skill levels they would be pretty intimidated if somebody came in and just started speaking Spanish.
Okay.
But you might want to see if there's an adult who's more fluent.
Or they could work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, With that, I'm like, I don't understand. Looking at the wrong side.
I was gonna primary just to make sure that
Yeah.
is accurate.
That was
because
the other
know
thing I
that-
thought of. And a word for word translation doesn't always make sense in a different language, so that's
I was gonna have her read.
for sure. Okay. Anything
Okay.
else?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
oh yeah. Okay. So the only other thing is I am scheduled for July 25th. It's a Friday. So my hope is that we can do our July board meeting that Tuesday, because I need to drive down to Milwaukee the night before, so my mom can take me. July. So the June meeting, we have issues with the June meeting anyways, but we'll talk about that because we set the date and time for June anyways. So I am 2 months out, but I'm giving you guys this heads up. And then the hope is that if we do that meeting sometime that week, right before I leave, then I really should be back in time for the August meeting. So we shouldn't miss any. It should be fine. And by then we're kind of at the end of our summer library programming, and yeah, and the county will have just started budget negotiations, so we shouldn't even be that deep into that yet. So the timing should work fairly well. And I've been told I'm young and I'm gonna bounce back right away. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
If not, you can always attend by Zoom and after TV.
Yes.
We'll just talk about you behind your back.
Yeah, I know. Give you guys a chance.
All right, any further questions or clarifications from Becky? All right then, staff meeting minutes are in your packet on page 10. Any questions about those?
The Sherman clouds are still in existence up in Dorothy.
We're really excited to have them coming. It's gonna be fun.
Excited about the petting zoo. That was an idea I had last summer. I thought, oh,
Animals are always a hit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay. Moving on to circulation report.
I think we're just kind of chugging along. Overall, the system declined in April, and we in Park Falls went up a little bit. So yay for us. Yeah. But I'm not concerned. I'm not overly excited, but I think we're doing all right.
I did notice it's across the board, kind of down from last year, April. So,
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's right. This is probably like too minor a thing to notice, but it looks like there was a small decline in the IFLIS numbers from March of 2024 to April of 2024 as well. I wonder, is it just like people Easter traveling? Or yeah, like it seems like yeah, we go up in March and then down in April and then up again for the summer months usually.
If people are
Um,
closed that Easter weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that might actually affect some of the bigger libraries enough to make it go down like that.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
nothing alarming. Any questions or?
Yeah.
Views?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Thank you for those numbers, Becky. And Friends Group, do we have a report or update in any way?
We're just chugging along. We're working on the raffle, and then I have another volunteer from SEP coming down, and they're gonna help me clean out the storage unit. So that needs to get done. But oh, and we're gonna do the float. We're doing the parade again this year. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right, and
Hand out books.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of afraid of like I'm picturing like throwing hardcovers at people's heads. I don't know. Maybe we could get
Push
some
a book
small
cart.
books. Yeah, there we
Walking book sale.
go. Right.
Teasing.
okay, Teen Advisory Council.
I am happy to have two of my committee members here in front of you guys today. I have Pavitra with me and Ruby. We're both currently active members of the committee. And Ruby has a couple of things that she wanted to share.
Welcome.
We are excited about the new furniture coming in the teen sections. We have members of the teen advisory volunteering to help at Girls Night Out and the summer reading pickup club.
Great,
Yay, thank you.
thank you. Questions from the board?
What are you exactly doing for Girls' Night Out?
To, I think, watch kids here.
Yeah, so the moms have the
Oh,
opportunity
nice.
to
Yeah.
drop their children off here. And I have some of the teen advisory committee members who volunteered to do crafts with the kids, read to them, and just hang out with them while the moms enjoy
Great. That's wonderful.
Girls Night Out.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, and we understand if you don't want to stay for the whole meeting.
As exciting as it.
Library
I was just gonna
renovation.
say, where's there better entertainment?
Yes, you have to say.
Others are gonna elect you later if you leave.
Significant updates, Becky, do we have a?
No, I actually-
date or anything?
No, I hadn't even thought about it until today. So if I don't hear anything by the end of the week, I'll shoot them an email so that maybe we can get a date so you guys can help me unload the truck.
Okay, sounds good. We'll watch for communication on that.
Nice.
All right, Civic Plus.
Did you get a chance to talk to anybody?
No,
Okay,
I did not manage to get over it.
that's okay. Meredith said that the county does actually use Civic Plus as well. And she sent me the name of their contact and I didn't have time to do anything with it either. So between the two of us, I'll try the county contact and if you can. look it
I
up,
will get it.
please. Yeah, I know you've had a busy month. So I'll just leave this on the agenda. We already paid for this year, so we have a year to figure it out. Okay.
All right. Well, that's good to know it's being used in the whole county too. It's
Well, and my
seems to be
thought
reputable.
was, I wonder what the county would charge us to get in under the county plan as opposed to the city
fast
plan. Yeah,
Right.
just to find out. Want to let us jump on for free, jump on the county account for free instead of paying the city to be part of their account?
We were just wondering if merging more together, if there's any better discounted
Yeah.
price.
What
So
is this for? What were you trying to say?
this is a Civic Plus thing that,
Oh, man.
yeah, that
Online.
indexes all of us.
I guess it's worth looking at.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'll talk to the county and Bruce will talk. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we'll just leave that on there for now. May bills.
Okay, we are in front of you here. The only thing that is really kind of odd
Yeah, I know.
is we do have a fairly large bill that is, oh, and I find it on the page here. It is on page 13, Price County Mini Storage, $1,485. They forgot to bill us for our mini storage unit. And I mean, I guess in all fairness, we forgot to think, oh, well, we must have to pay for that. So here.
So that's 2.5 years, I think. It's $600 a year. And we have made one $600 payment since we opened it. So it's not like we haven't given them anything. But yes, and Mr. Heitkamper was very nice to me about it.
In any event, that's the only, as far as number size, that's the only really unusual thing. We do have a bunch of things that are going to be requested on page 16, fourth page of the bills, whole litany of things to be authorizing payment for the upcoming kickoff for the summer library program. The funds for this are already in. If you look back at what we've got in the summer library program fund is currently, this isn't even quite up to date. Because I just deposited some additional money yesterday, but we got $2,000 in our summer library program account line on page 8, and I just deposited another 375. So we can easily take care of the expenses that are being requested on page 16 on the from the board portion. The other items are also coming out of funds where they are already allocated. And I did mention the one going to Feet Wet LLC.
What's that one?
That's Jeff Nania, though. That's the author.
Oh,
And so that's adult programming. And actually the $85 that's going into you guys is also going towards that program. So
okay.
we're only actually asking for $70 out of gifts to
Right.
cover the rest.
So in any event, but I mean, these are unusual just by the sense that we wouldn't normally have this many in a month, but we obviously don't have a June kickoff every month, so. And Linda, thank you for doing all.
Okay. Any further questions needed? Directed at Bruce? Otherwise, we're looking for a motion to approve.
To approve the dollar amount of the bill, the total amount should be our number shown there on page 15, the 40.
Yeah, 476335.
Yes, 476335. Then also authorizing payment out of 2099.19. Should have noted, well, while we're seeking that motion, also should just note, we just deposited the check for $10,000 from the ALA for the doors. So that is awesome. While I may gripe and complain about the ALA all the time,
No,
I have no problem in depositing that check.
I'm excited about those.
Is there
Maybe.
I'm digressing. Is there a time frame for the doors?
No, I have to talk to like 2 more people in the community. So
Okay.
I have to have community conversations. And then I fill out the little sheet that says I've had community conversations. And then I can do the door.
Okay.
So yeah, by the end of the summer, I'm hoping, because
You can do it yourself?
yeah, I wish.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the bills? Which would be motion made by Mark Peterson.
Mark with a K.O. second.
Mark B is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion is carried. All right. On to election of officers. I know it does take a little extra time to look at these individually, But for the sake of allowing people both to decline or to suggest someone new, I think it takes the pressure off a little bit if we look at them individually. So if you can give me your patience for just a few moments, I prefer that we take them one at a time. That means everyone's okay. All right, let's look at treasurer first. Do we have any nominations for treasurer?
I would nominate Bruce.
Bruce, do you accept the nomination?
Sure. Only because now otherwise everybody got to sign cards.
Yeah. It's easier to stay on than transfer.
I okay.
That's how they get you.
Any further nominations? All right, then I'm looking for a motion to close nominations and to elect Bruce as treasurer.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Mark B. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second made by Jeff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion is carried. Thank you for your continued service.
Thank you,
Mr.
Bruce.
Marshall.
Thank you, Bruce.
Secretary. Any nominations for secretary?
I'll nominate Gil, and I think he's been doing a good job, especially if we're looking for that word for word transcription.
Sure.
Willing to accept the nomination?
Yeah, if we can't find anyone else available to do it.
We can't.
Any
Okay.
other nominations? As we're twisting it up from here. Okay, then we're looking for a motion to close nominations and ask Galen to continue serving.
So moved.
A motion made by Mark B. Was that Mark Peterson seconding? Don't let me put words in your mouth. Okay. Good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carried. Thank you, Galen. We appreciate your work.
Yeah, give him a break
Thank
here.
you.
Don't let me nominate anymore. I said two now.
I say you're controlling the board.
Falling first, but you know. Spear too. Harry. Make it easy on Galen.
VP, any nominations?
I nominate Christie.
Christie's vaping right now, right?
Yes, she is. Mhm. Christy, are you willing to accept the nomination?
I am willing.
Thank you. Any other nominations? I see a trend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nomination cast unanimous ballot for Christie.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Do you have a
Wow, that's
second?
I'll second
Second by Brian.
They're stepping up.
All right. All in favor of Christy continuing to serve as vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion is carried. Thank you. And president, any nominations?
I don't want to nominate everybody here.
I was gonna say.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
You gonna cast unanimous ballot right away too?
I vote to cast both nominations and cast unanimous ballot.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And yes.
I would second that. It's already get second.
All right, the second is by Christy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
And we say thank you to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jen.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You are easy people to work. All right.
I know, right?
Elections completed. All right, next under new business is discussion action on director's annual review. This is typically the job of the vice president. Hopefully
That's
you
right.
all saw the form. It came out in our meeting materials. We should have gotten an email form about that. My suggestion,
Do you have three?
thank you, Abby. My suggestion is perhaps that, see, we don't have a printed one here.
No, I totally spaced on it. I
That's
kind
okay.
of just thought that you guys would outline your plan and then I can do a closed session next month. But I thought I'd give you the opportunity to like tell everybody to fill out their stuff before the next meeting. I don't know.
Well, I know Chrissy
I don't
is
know
in
how you
your
do it.
office, so my suggestion is that if you don't have a means of printing one yourself from your email, ask Becky for a copy
Yeah.
and she'll get you one. How about you fill it? We all try to fill it out and bring it back by the next meeting and just hand them in to Christy and she can collate them. And we can have a closed session the following
Okay.
month, if that works for everybody.
Works well. So,
Okay.
so everyone will fill these out and bring them back for the June meeting.
Right.
And I'll send it out in an email by itself.
That
Telling you all
Thank
to
you.
fill it out before
Sure.
next month too.
Have it
For the people
headed.
not here. Yeah.
And if you prefer to email it to me, you certainly may. If I don't reply that I received it right away, until this morning, I forgot I had this email account. So I will do a better job.
Recall,
Yeah.
can we fill it out online? I don't.
I think it's a PDF. I don't have to-
Some people scanned it back to me who weren't in person last year.
This is a little longer than
Yeah.
last year's, so this is the full one.
Okay.
Oh, and then I will give it to staff at the next staff meeting as well. Actually, do you think maybe you can come to, I'll talk to you because we usually have you come in to the next staff meeting, kind of tell them that it's
Okay.
anonymous and then hand it out and then you choose one of them to collect it for you so that I never actually see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know there's
Yeah.
a spot for, some of you haven't filled out this form before. There's a spot for name at the top. That is Becky's name, it's not yours. It is completely anonymous. You don't need to put your name on there anywhere unless you choose to do so. I would encourage you also, if you mark anything other than you have no basis, that's the first category. You have no basis, does not meet expectations, meets expectations, or exceeds expectations. I would encourage you that if you do anything below or above expectations, that you consider leaving a comment about that so that Becky can know what she needs to improve or what she's doing very well. So think that through and be willing to give her some information along with a checkbox, if you would. Okay.
And then we'll have the closed session in July.
Yes.
So you want them brought to the next meeting? If we don't email them?
Sure, yeah, that would be fantastic. I was just making a note, I'll bring an envelope to collect returns so they can stay anonymous if people would like.
And I have lots of envelopes.
Okay, bye. It wouldn't surprise me.
That I can get.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like from us regarding?
At this time, that should be adequate.
And if you have future questions, feel free to email Chrissy on her Phillips Library email account, and she will hopefully
And text.
notice that.
I'll do a better job.
Or you can always send a note to me too. Chrissy hasn't actually filled out. Yes, you have.
Yep, I
You
did.
filled
I
this
did
out
fill-
once before.
Mhm.
Okay, forget that. Contact her.
Yeah.
All right, we have a plan. Cool. Discussion action on collecting donations for private citizens. So what's going on?
Yeah,
here?
this was very interesting. So, okay, so right now, the practice is we will advertise for you, we will give you space, we will help you out in whatever way, as long as you're a nonprofit organization. So like, the Methodist Church sponsors the food thing. I'm comfortable doing that. Like all the flyers on the board should be for nonprofits. We have a little collection thing for catkins because we all love animals and they're nonprofit. All of that's fine. I had a woman come into my office and ask if they could set out a collection plate to fix the septic system in the Hilly Haven trailer park. And I was like, and I asked her, I said, are you part of a nonprofit? Like, who are you? And she's like, no, I'm not part of a nonprofit, but the people up there really need their septic system fixed.
That's the one's responsibility.
Yeah, and I said, well, isn't the park owner supposed to be responsible for that? And she said, well, I just want to put out money. And then she got she got a little upset about it. And so normally I wouldn't even bring this to the board, but I want you all to back me up with the fact that we do not collect for individual people. I mean, we've never, like, if you do a GoFundMe, like if your house burns down and you do a GoFundMe, we don't even post that anywhere in the library because it just gets to the point where then we're posting for everybody and I don't know you, so you could collect this money and go to the.
Right decision, I don't.
It
On
just,
paper for policy wise, or do we have that in place already?
it's just practice right now. I guess I just want a motion that we're going to uphold the existing practice of only collecting for nonprofit groups. We should probably do a policy. I just haven't had.
And if it's from, let's just do a motion and.
Yeah, just a motion for now so that when she calls me tomorrow, because she knows this meeting is tonight. That was kind of all I had. Yeah, and I wouldn't usually bring this in front of you guys, but she did get very at the end, and I just wanted to make sure that,
So she wanted like a donation
Yes.
box? Or just for
Yes.
clarification, okay.
yeah.
So normally what you're saying is a nonprofit who's doing a fundraiser, you let them put a.
Advertisement.
Yeah, we haven't,
Collect money.
we haven't traditionally had anybody ask us to collect money, just the Catkins little jar that sits there forever. But yeah, if it's a nonprofit, we totally don't mind. And then, you know that they're gonna use the money.
Besides captains.
No, we've done, donations for the Boy Scouts of food and clothing and whatever else they're collecting
And
for.
that's what that's,
Yeah,
but that's privately owned and we don't know this person and is the money really gonna go for it? I'm not saying they're dishonest, but we don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
I know. And that was kind of my point. So,
I'm real comfortable to make a motion not to collect for or post anything for collections for private citizens.
For fundraising
For
purposes.
fundraising, nonprofit. Well, I would nonprofits.
Well,
I would just say for private citizens.
yeah,
Because it kind of I can picture getting off into a number of issues on nonprofits.
Okay.
Because we've come up with some pretty colorful nonprofits that some of us might be very opposed on any side, But on a private citizen basis, I'm very comfortable to make that motion.
Not even sure as a library that.
I was very surprised that she even seemed to think that this was something that I should be saying yes to. It was like,
Because we're not a privately owned business.
no,
Right.
okay.
No, you did the right
Guys.
thing and,
yeah.
So,
we should support it.
Back you up entirely. No.
okay, so Bruce, can
Yep.
you clarify your motion, please, so Galen can.
Yes, I make a motion to, I suppose I should say to prohibit
Yes.
collection for private citizens at the library.
Bruce, could we say to advertise for?
Yeah,
Or-
advertise for or
Collect,
collect.
advertise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Yes, advertise for or collect for private citizens.
I would second that motion.
Galen, do you need any of the information needed?
Not for secretarial purposes. I guess just one thing is, would it be with this motion, is there a way to also guarantee that we will put this on the agenda and discuss it again? Because I think short term, we should back up what Becky is saying. Long term, I'd like to look at this policy and make sure we've got a really well thought out definition of what we are and aren't allowing.
Okay, so under new business, we'll put
And I will create a policy.
policy regarding
Donation collections. Yeah.
ads and donations.
Yeah. Somebody out there has one. I'll find one.
Perfect.
Any further discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, say no. Motion is carried. Thank you, Becky, for making a wise decision on that
Mhm.
point. Okay, I do not see any questions to consider at our next meeting. And any other new business other than this policy discussion for next month? as always, feel free to reach out to me.
So- Let's throw on the actual agenda, collection of completed questionnaires.
Okay,
Just as another reminder.
okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We're not gonna discuss anything. It doesn't have to be in closed session or anything else, but that's one more reminder. Oh, yeah, that's right. I gotta fill it out.
Okay.
Director review. All right, thank you. And date and time for next meeting. Did you have a suggestion, Becky?
Well, the first Music in the Park, which we do try to avoid, is that last Thursday in June.
What time does that actually start? Do you know?
6 o'clock.
Oh, so do you guys want to try to do 5 o'clock again? I don't think it's gonna be a long meeting.
That's the 26th.
Well,
of
and if
June?
people had to duck out, yeah, because otherwise that week, unfortunately, I can't do that Tuesday because I have another board meeting that Tuesday.
I like the
Yeah.
idea of keeping it on Thursday so we're not confusing ourselves about
Okay.
Wednesday is library meeting day. If we can stick to 5, that gives us enough time. I think we should
Should be a
be
short,
pretty close.
short meeting.
All right, let's give it a shot. And then I guess if people come next month and say that's not gonna work for the rest of the summer, we can fix it.
So that's the 26th.
Yes.
Why don't we, while we're talking about this, why don't we also just take a peek at July since you brought it up?
Sure, so,
July 25th surgery.
You said the
You
22nd?
want to be doing, yeah, we want to try and move that. In spite of, we just got done saying we're gonna try and tackle Thursday, this is a kind of
That's a different
extraordinary
reason.
thing. Director's only got 2 kidneys and I think he's gonna be one of us.
I just give them both away. You guys can hire someone with kidneys.
It would be
So,
typically the last Thursdays, right?
yeah,
31st.
so I was kind of hoping we could do it on the 22nd. If
Before surgery.
before surgery, yeah.
I will, for what,
I have to
on one of
travel
9.
out to Milwaukee on Thursday because I have to get my mom to, so I could do it that Monday or Wednesday, but Tuesdays seem to work better for people than Mondays and Wednesdays.
I will personally be gone that week. But if Vice President could defer to the president for the director's reviews.
We're just collecting on my,
Well, this one would be this would be the closed session.
I mean, we can move the closed session to August
So,
if you want. I mean,
but that week we will be out of state.
we can go the week before. Then we're gonna have an awful lot of bids,
right.
but it's.
Yeah.
Finished in a number.
You're gonna be tied up, not easily available for a good chunk of August, I assume.
Yeah, I'd
Or
say.
at least not
it's-
accessible to what mail comes in.
Right, yeah,
It seems like that's gonna make that compounded
right.
if we move it
Right.
into that week ahead. So,
So either someone else could take the lead on the performance reviews or they could go to August.
yeah,
Well, so the July meeting is, you'll get the information at the June meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna compile it to present to us at the July
July.
meeting, so we could still review it.
and then have our closed session.
I mean, so you could have a closed session in July, we could.
So I could have it for you.
First one's review.
Right.
Okay.
First one
Won't be
review,
missing.
and then, cause if it goes like last year, we're not gonna get it done.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So if there's any questions or concerns, I wouldn't be able to, I can,
Yeah, the only issue is, any changes. or
Talk to
I can
Jenny
talk
when you come back
Okay.
into town. I mean, if you
Sure.
don't mind.
Yep.
Not to give
I
you a
don't
whole
mind.
bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
to
No,
watch.
it's just fine. If she does the compilation and gives me any
Okay.
notes that she noticed, I think we're fine.
okay,
Okay,
that works for me then.
so that Tuesday is best for everyone? Yeah, the 22nd?
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
And what time are you guys going with for that one?
Is anybody opposed to just leaving meeting times at 5 through the summer so that it doesn't affect music in the park? Let's just keep it at 5 then, and we'll be
Okay.
across the board at 5 o'clock, so we're not changing all the pieces.
I like it at 5.
I will not be here in June. I'll be out west.
Okay,
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
We expect people to be in and out through this.
yeah.
Nice.
All right, any further concerns, questions?
We said the 22nd. right?
We said the 22nd.
July 22nd.
22nd, 5 o'clock.
The second.
Okay, meeting is adjourned at 5:55, I'm guessing, something like that.
Great, thank
Pretty
you.
close.
We'll have this page was.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Oh, yeah,
everyone.
thanks, Galen.
Galen.
Bye.